Hello, I'm Jeff Cavins, and today we're looking at the scriptures for the 13th Sunday in Ordinary Time. All three of the scriptures, 1 Kings, Galatians, and Luke chapter 9, all have something in common, and that is they talk about a yoke. And in the Old Testament reading, we see that Elisha is going to follow Elijah, but first he has some things to take care of back home. And this is a theme we see both in the Old Testament and the New Testament, and that is making a decision to follow, but then letting things get in the way. In the case of Elisha, what he ended up doing is he ended up going back. I just want to read that to you real quickly. It says, "So he departed from there and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he was with the 12th. Elijah passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, 'Let me kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow you.' And he said to him, 'Go back again, for what have I done to you?' And he returned from following him and took the yoke of oxen and slew them and boiled their flesh with the yokes of the oxen and gave it to the people, and they ate. And then he arose and went after Elijah and ministered to him." In Elijah's situation, he went back and his livelihood, everything about him was consumed in a sacrifice to God. In the New Testament, we see a very similar story in Luke's Gospel, chapter 9. And let me read that to you real quickly. As they were going along the road, a man said to him, "I will follow you. I will follow you wherever you go." And Jesus said to him, "The foxes have holes and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head." To another he said, "Follow me." But he said, "Lord, let me first go and bury my father." But he said to him, "Leave the dead to bury their own dead, but as far as you go and you proclaim the kingdom of God." And another said, "I will follow you, Lord, but first let me say farewell to those at home." Jesus said to him, "No one who puts his hand to the plow and looks back is fit for the kingdom of God." You know, in our lives, so often we run into situations where we give our commitment to God and we make a pledge that we're going to follow Him, but we let so many things get in the way. The stories here are really teaching us that if we're going to follow God and we're going to put our hand to the plow, we don't want to look back. We want to keep going forward. And that's something that's difficult for us to do, both in terms of regrets, memories, things that we want to do. But if we're really going to follow Christ, we need to put our hand to the plow and absolutely follow Him. When we look at the reading in Galatians chapter 5 and verse 1, it says, "It was for freedom that Christ set us free. Therefore, do not return to a yoke of bondage." And so when you make that commitment to serve Christ, don't look back. Nothing comes before it. That doesn't mean that we don't have things to take care of in our family and our job, but Jesus is always the number one priority. Number one.